Hi everyone, so I've had a really interesting day. So this morning I had the pleasure of spending some time in theatre with Ms. Suzanne Taylor, consultant podiatric surgeon, and Mr. Robbie Ray, consultant orthopedic foot and ankle surgeon. Watched them do some surgeries, and then this afternoon rushed back to clinic for my own list and had a couple of interesting patients here as well. So we had quite a few new consultations for ingrowing toenails. So we've got about 3 or 4 patients now booked for nail surgery on the other side of Easter. A couple of interesting ones as well. Had a mid-portion Achilles tendinopathy, so we did a high volume hydrodissection injection for this lady approximately 4 weeks ago. She returned to clinic explaining that she is completely symptom-free on the left side, and now the right side is continuing to be painful. We knew from the point of care ultrasound scan on her first presentation that was, the right side was almost as bad as the left. So today we performed the same injection for the right side, and we'll see how she gets on. Hopefully it goes as well as the first one did. Just can't go any better than 100% pain relief. She's also engaging on her exercise regime. Another patient with a midfoot osteoarthritis. This kind of bread and butter, see that almost every day. Fairly flat-footed, a bit hypermobile through the midfoot. We have made custom orthoses for him, or going to make custom orthoses for him, taking cast for those today. We're going to do a ultrasound guided corticosteroid injection for that as well. Find the combination of those two things with a supportive shoe. That should keep pain under control for as long as 2 or 3 years. Very often it's not something we have to re-inject. If the patient actually wears their orthoses, that's not something we re-inject quickly. And then finally we had a really interesting case, a lady who's had a kind of telederm examination. One of our dermatologists has looked at this kind of remotely, and she has what's called an onychopapilloma, kind of benign tumor under the nail. Now it's something that I think we probably, certainly in the podiatry land, probably see a lot more commonly than is reported in the literature. I expect it's not something that I had can say I was overly familiar with the name, but something you see regularly in clinics, certainly in routine practice when you're cutting toenails, that they're the kind of more routine work. It's interesting reading about it, and he'd obviously referred it in for podiatry opinion, but really for surgical opinion, really. And so I've referred her on to my colleague Andrew McFarlane, who's a podiatric surgeon I work with here at Benedon Hospital. He can obviously have a look and whether he actually thinks he wants to do anything about it, I'm not entirely sure. Certainly reading about it, it's recommended to have it excised. I can't see a great deal of information about what happens if you don't excise it. I think it just continues as it is. So I think in general routine practice, I think it's the kind of thing that regularly just gets left and doesn't cause any problems. Lady has no pain. But yeah, I think certainly reading about it, it seems to be something that is recommended to be operated on. We'll see what Andrew says once he's seen him in the next couple of weeks. Interesting clinic. It's now about 6:30. I've been on the go since 6:30 this morning. I'm pleased to wrap up now and go home. Hope you all have a nice weekend.